It's on.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming. My name is Alia, and tonight we're going to be discussing the Paycheck Fairness Act S2199. Will be an amendment to the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. We're going to go ahead and get started with the video presentation. Before I get started, we're going to go into what it is, why people care about it, who's affected by it, the general stakeholders, and their arguments. So this is a brief video discussing what the Paycheck Fairness Act is so that you guys can get a little understanding of both sides, the proponents and opponents side.
Now we want to make sure that women and that through our work passing the Paycheck Fairness Act, we stop bigotry of low wages for women.
Senate Democrats are hoping paycheck policy will be a smart play for the midterms. They're highlighting the fight for equal pay for women in the workplace with new legislation. It's a party-wide push that's gone all the way to the White House with directives from the Oval Office.
More women are their family's main breadwinners than ever before. But on average, women are still earning just 77 cents on every dollar that a man does.
Here's some background on the issue. In 1970, 43.3% of women participated in the workforce, compared to 79.7% of men. By 2010, that number rose to 58.1% for women and actually dropped to 70.5% for men. Median wages for women have risen across the board, but they still earn less than men do. To put this into perspective, 85% of daughters earned higher wages than their mother. Only 47% of daughters earned higher wages than their fathers. Opponents of the legislation claim the Paycheck Fairness Act is a purely political move that could actually hurt women in the workplace.
This certainly sort of furthers the myth that women are a victim class in society, and especially the workplace are hostile for women. But for many on the left, for many Democrats, this is a justification to grow government, to grow the size of the state, to become more intrusive.
Also in question is the impact on men.
Let's take an example of where the man's being paid less than the woman in this case, because this law is not just about women, it's about men and women.
Political strategists on both sides agree the bill has no chance of passing Congress.
Stop quoting me.
Yeah, it's a strong talking point with a small political price tag.
Okay, so if you guys have a better understanding of what it actually is, it's basically there already are laws and acts established to create equal pay for women, but according to statistics, women are still being retaliated against while they're asking for wage raises, and a lot of employers are finding loopholes to still pay men higher wages. According to this, the proponent side, the representatives for and against say that there's no need for this Paycheck Fairness Act because of the fact that the laws are already established. So now we're going to get into some general stakeholders. For the proponent side would just be like women's activist groups, and there are many Democrats that are for the bill passing. Some general stakeholders on the opponent side would be employers, men, activist groups, and a lot of Republicans are against the bill going forward. And now we're going to get into some specific stakeholders from the proponent side, and that would be the Senator Barbara Mikulski. She's a Democrat, as well as Democrat Senator Harry Reid and the National Women's Law Center. And they all value equal pay for equal work. They also value women receiving equal pay as men. And some of the arguments that they have for their support of the Paycheck Fairness Act is that it would ensure fair pay, and it would deter wage discrimination between men and women. And currently they believe that women are being retaliated against if they are asking for other employers' wages while, they're deciding if they have the authority to ask for a higher wage. So they think that because of that, they're being retaliated against from upper management when they do ask or try to go for wage raises. So that's why the Paycheck Fairness Act would detour those things from happening to them. So some specific opponents against the Paycheck Fairness Act would be Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte, and the Freedom Works organization. And they value the creation of jobs for all Americans. They are against the Paycheck Fairness Act because they believe the laws are already in place and the focus should be on creating more jobs for Americans as a whole. And they think that this act would actually hurt women and detour employers from hiring them in fear of lawsuits. So some of the arguments besides what I said were that it would also allow for the government to have more control over the employer, and it would devalue the marketplace. So just a quick recap. We went over the Paycheck Fairness Act, what it was, who it affects, the proponents and the opponents, and the arguments, and the values of the stakeholders involved. And that wraps up the presentation. I would like to thank you, and I hope you have a clear understanding of the Paycheck Fairness Act, and would open the floor for any questions.
I got one. When you're talking about asking for a raise, like, when is the appropriate time to ask for a raise for any gender?
I think it's more or less the women that feel that they are being paid less than their male counterparts for doing
Oh, you
the
mean like
same.
if we go for the same job and we have the same title, but I'm
Right.
getting more money? Okay.
Right, and currently, within my own research, according to the 2012 census, the female to male wage ratio is 77%. So for every dollar that a man makes, the woman's making 77 cents
For the
on that
same
dollar
job?
for the same job
Okay.
with the same
Yeah,
responsibilities.
that's sweet.
Any other questions?
You covered what I had to say. You covered the answer.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate your time.
Oh, I have one question.
Sorry.
Has that already passed, or when is that vote coming
No,
up? Or
it's actually it just got shut down again.
So it's just a bill that's trying to go through Congress, and
Yeah,
they got to have all the
yes.
votes and stuff like that. So we can't even change this. You got to like talk to those
senators.
Okay, that's the
And
only
yes,
way.
and try to get it passed. Currently, yeah, it's just been shut down. This is actually the third revised act, because there was two previous to this new 2199. All right, thank you.